What up, Facebook? What up, y'all? What up, YouTube? All y'all. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? Instagram, TikTok, Big O. What up, world? It's your boy, KD Nice. Yeah, I just want to address an issue because I'm working on a song right now, and it's a little something that it addresses oppression and stuff like that. And it's called The American Dream. Now, yeah, the American Dream, they stripped the American Dream straight from me. And this went down on Obama's watch. Not Obama, but Obama watch too, because he was the president. Bill Clinton, everybody that was in office, especially Cuomo. He was the governor of the state of New York. And, I was filing pardons and all that. Now, under my circumstances, what happened? I didn't run from myself. That's another thing that I should be give credit. I stood up like a man against all odds. You know what I'm saying? When they was playing, basically, when they was, like playing manipulation games and exploitation games and exacerbation games and stuff like that. Like they exploited the facts and manipulated the facts. You know what I'm saying? And exacerbated and underestimated and overestimated the facts in my case. Now one fact is, let's deal with facts. Because I study law. I studied law. And the law follows the facts of the case all the time. That's number one, that the law follows the facts. It doesn't follow your personal opinion. And Darcel Clark, too, the Bronx District Attorney, she was the prosecutor on my case in 1991. You know what I'm saying? Now, something horrific happened in which, okay, now this is where there's a caveat, because caveat, C-A-V-E-A-T, caveat. This is where there's a caveat because, hold on, I'm drinking some coffee. Yeah, that's where it was a caveat at, because basically I was a youth. I was a child growing up in AIDS infested, crack infested, crime infested, crack infested, if I didn't say crack already, dope infested, dope. I seen what dope do to people. I'm not blind. I had people begging me for money that had dope fiend, that had, was addicted. I'm so sorry that, that person was addicted. But I'm like, God damn, man, I ain't got no money to throw at no dope. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to move. I'm working at D'Agostino's. I'm working at Burger King. I'm working at Summer Youth. I worked at Superior Messenger Services. So I was a good kid doing the right things in the hood, trying to make it. And I was only making $3.35 an hour. That's no money. If I had the technology and even the minimum wage, the status, like if I was born in this day of time, which is, I think is more difficult now, but I mean, as far as, like problems and all that, but back then, being able to maneuver, yeah, I was maneuvering. You know what I'm saying? I got up on my grind. I was on my grind going to get that money. I couldn't afford a SP1200 drum machine. It's a sampler drum machine, 10 seconds. That's what I wanted. That's what I needed. I couldn't afford it. It's a shame because of money in this world where all your great resources and everything, all your resources, you got the best lawyers, the best doctor, the best finance, the best army, as the presidents always brag about, especially Donald Trump, Bill Clinton. They said we got the best army, you got the best psychologists, everything. So how did a 14-year-old child growing up fail? How did you fail that child? Now, I'm going to tell you one reason why. Because they think with their little mans. For one, everybody worried about who I'm sexing, like with my ex-girlfriend. And yeah, somebody grabbed her butt too. And I'm out there fist fighting because they grabbed her butt. You know what I'm saying? But she was supposed to bust him in his head when I'm fighting. He ain't grabbed my butt, he grabbed your butt. You know what I'm saying? It goes together. You put him, and if he getting the best of me in the fight, you bust him in the head and let him know, don't touch my butt. You know what I'm saying? But we live in, this is just, that's just what it is. But at the time, you know, I'm coming up, you know what I'm saying? Now, dudes really stripped me. And it's really strange how they stripped me of my ex-girlfriend. Now, my ex-girlfriend was super duper crazy in love with me. And right back at her, I love my ex-girlfriend. She was like, I don't think I'll ever find a girl that's all the way with it like how she was with it. But dudes didn't like to see that. You know what I'm saying? With the hush money and all that. They don't like to see that. That was just a figure, you know, of speech, thing, or metaphor or something. Yeah, like, they didn't want to see that. Because they don't want to see me have more girls than them. And I wasn't about having all the girls in the world. That's what I was saying. I had all the spades and the jokers. I was doing good as far as relationships and all that. And I was doing good. I was on my grind. I had my car at the age of 18 driving. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I turned 18, got my license and everything. And registration, insurance, everything is legit. Only thing was, I wasn't making enough money. I got to take another sip of the dip. Yeah, I wasn't making enough money. It's exhausting working for $3.35 an hour and what I was trying to do. Like, I was up in Mantronix Studio. Mantronix is a hip-hop, you know, hip-hop band. And, you know, they made music. I like Fresh is the Word. That was one of my records. I used to play that record. You know what I'm saying? I was a DJ. I used to play Roxanne Shante, UTFO, Brooklyn, Cutmaster DC. I was a DJ, man. Ron DMC, Boogie Down Production, Dougie Fresh, Joe Ski Love. I was a DJ, man. Salt and Pepper. You know what I'm saying? Can't forget Antoinette. I used to play these songs. I go way back in hip-hop. I helped pioneer this thing. Now, I used to play music out in the streets, too, and at house parties and clubs and everything. So I was bringing positivity to the table. Like, another positive thing I did, I was in a photography group. It's two sides to a coin and six sides to a dice. I was in a photography group. I won second prize when they submitted my artwork, you know, my photos to an art contest in Manhattan. It was a big art contest, and I won second place. And second place prize, which they still owe me money because one of the prizes was they put a CD in my name. But somehow that CD, I don't know where that CD at. I know it accumulated a lot of money and all that. And I think they gave us $20. You know what I'm saying? But I won. I was doing positive things. I wasn't selling crack. I wasn't robbing. I wasn't doing none of that stuff. And then I worked in a job. Now, what's even more critical is that they got grown men. Like one guy, I don't want to mention none of this stuff, but he had killed his seed, right? Over an argument with his girlfriend. Well, his girlfriend's seed, because it's really her seed, but it was their child. And he got 2 to 6 years. Another guy who his mother didn't let him come home after 12 o'clock. It's called Screwballs, I think, the case, and it was a youthful offender case. And his mother didn't let him come home after 12 o'clock from being with his girlfriend. 12 o'clock, my mom's a Jehovah's Witness. I couldn't even be in a room by myself with my ex-girlfriend. So that blocked us. And out in the street is no place for her to be. With all them dudes that's blocking, cock blocking, hating. They don't want to see us together. You know what I'm saying? So you strip minds away. Now, you got there's plenty cases, because like I said, I studied the law. There's plenty cases. And it was a case in which, you know, like a guy, he did the same thing, similar act, but with an axe. But, you know what I'm saying? He got 12 flat years. He got way less time than I did 31 years incarceration. That was because they had it out for me. Like one of the Bronx district attorneys and the district attorney, the assistant district attorney, kept writing to the board of parole saying, "Do not release me." They didn't look at all the facts, and they caused me to snap. They forced the hand, and those that forced the hand is as guilty as the hand that they forced. So you can take it that way too. And I was honest about it because I was working at D'Agostino's at the time. I even put in overtime that day because it was Thanksgiving. I put in overtime that day because she didn't want to let me go home. Person that called me, you know what I'm saying? I was gonna get over there. Now the moral of the story is, I've been spit on, cut with glass, thrown in prison for things that I didn't do at the age of 14. They said I robbed Burger King. They reported that I robbed Burger. They reported that they got robbed, and I was at work at the same time that the robbery occurred, and so it was impossible for me to be in two places at one time. That's what that was about. So anyway, like being in, but they, I went to Burger King. I was treating my friends to some double cheeseburger before we go play basketball. So, because it was the 99-cent special. So after we ate and all that, the police rolled up on me, snatched me up, said that I robbed that Burger King earlier. And I was at work at the exact same time that Burger King was robbed. Then they pulled me over in a car in another incident when I was at Hunts Point. And I was going to Hunts Point to pay for some sex. I ain't gonna front, because that's what they did to me. They pushed me out where I couldn't get no girls. You know what I'm saying? Because after they stripped away my ex-girlfriends and all the girls in the projects and bullied me and all that, it's like, yeah, you can't have a relationship. I couldn't live. And they wasn't going to let me live anyway out there. They wasn't going to let me live. So, so I got pushed out into the gutter where I got ran off the road, pushed out into the gutter where I started paying for sex. I don't even know the name of the first girl that I had sex because I paid her. You know what I'm saying? To have sex with her. Me and somebody else, but you know what I'm saying? That's neither here nor there. Somebody hooked me up with her anyway to, as far as like, I guess they call it dating or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Now, prostitution is illegal, yeah. But they pulled me over and said that somebody reported that I had a gun in the car. It was an anonymous tip. Search my car, frisk my car, everything. Throw everything out in the street, boom, 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 boom. And then they finds no weapon, they finds no gun or none of that. Tell me I gotta walk straight line and they gonna take me to the police station to give me a breathalyzer test. So I go to the police station. They say I'm 1 point away from not being intoxicated. Now I know damn well I wasn't drinking. I wasn't drinking. And the thing was, and I definitely wasn't intoxicated behind the wheel. I was going to get some pussy, but, I didn't mean to say the word like that, but I was going to pay for it. And that's because I was lonely, and this other girl, because we about to have a picnic the next day on the 4th of July. This happened on the 4th of July. Fucked up my 4th of July. Now, this girl that I met, I asked her, I said, yo, I want you to come to the picnic with me. But I was going to ask her. And she said, when I knocked on the door, you know what I'm saying, I drove up to her spot, knocked on the door. She was like, her boyfriend's in the house, this, that, and the third. All right, so I'm a little broken, so I said, fuck it, I'm going to go buy me some sex. Now, that's the only way I could have sex. If it wasn't for crack, a lot of people wouldn't have sex. But this was Hunts Point, they had prostitutes over there. So anyway, I don't remember the name of the first girl that I said. But what's crazy about the whole ordeal? Is that the selfish men in American, the hush money men. And I'm not being disrespectful, but, come on, man. You got dudes that's married that still pay for sex. And all that, cheat on their girls and wives with the damn thing. So, you know what I'm saying? So, but they can't even, they put me through something that they themselves can't even handle themselves. That's what's crazy about the whole ordeal. Like the guy that slammed his seed into the ground, killing the seed. And that was crazy, man. I love children, especially babies. And he got 2 to 6 years in prison. He got a girl. He ain't pushed off to the curb like me. I don't have no children. I don't have nothing. No ladies. I made a song called "The Ladies Don't Love Me." Y'all can look that up. It's best to look it up on Google. Any songs that are mine, you can always look it up on Google. And Google will take you straight to where you can buy that song at. Because everything is messed up in the music industry. It's not worth it in the music industry no more. But, yeah, then you got another man. He got 12 years. But then a child, you caused me to snap. Come on. You know what caused me to snap? I'm going to tell you. The AIDS, the idea of AIDS. The person was like, yo, the AIDS. I don't know who he was sexing. And I felt like really hit hard. It really hit home hard because I'm like, damn, I'm a good dude. Like, you can ask any girl I want. I took girls out to the movies. I took girls We went to great adventures. But after things got a little shaky because dudes hated on me, dudes stabbed me in the back, all that broke us up and everything. But I always treated my girlfriends good, you know what I mean? But incident, my ex-girlfriend, she's still around today. She should be, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to chase her, but I'm like, man, I don't know. Because at a point, they turned her into my enemy where she trying to hurt me now. And that's what she did. Like, she beat up she would, like, if somebody grabbed your butt, you supposed to beat that dude up with me. And, like, she beat up my next girlfriend. I don't like to talk about that, but she beat up my next girlfriend. Because things got shaky. And she had told me, yo, you ain't getting no sex, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, come on, man, you doing me wrong. I made a mistake. Yeah, I made a mistake. But somebody stabbed me in the back and caused me to make that mistake. Like, we was talking about girls and all that. So the things that I was telling him about my girl, the conversation, because I didn't go back and tell this girl what he said, trying to get in between her legs. I didn't do that. But he actually did that to me. So now our relationship is shaky. So now I'm seeking love because I'm hurt. We was together, and that relationship, like, even though we together, it turned into a long distance relationship, even though we sit right next to each other. Like, your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. So she started cheating on me, everything. She was cheating on me too. So anyway, you know what I'm saying? She dumped me for the guy that she was cheating on me with. He got her pregnant, then dumped her for another girl he got pregnant. This is what I'm saying. We had a decent relationship, but we just didn't have the space. That baby should have been mine. And when she came to see me while I was incarcerated, it really hurt me because she said that, see, this could have been your daughter. I'm like, how could that be my daughter when you told me I ain't getting no sex? You know what I'm saying? You cut me off from the tree of life and shut me out of the what's that called? Not Hell's Kitchen. What's that song? The Garden or whatever. I've been locked out of Heaven's Gate or something like that. One of those songs. So she locked me out of Heaven's Gate. It's not all about the sex anyway. But I love my ex, man. We really could have did something. Like, that would have been my baby. If people wasn't blocking. My mom was blocking. I don't have no kids. They stripped me away from my American dream. And that's what that's called, the American dream. It's a nightmare. The American dream is a nightmare. Then they had, I got cut with glass, spit on, stomped in my face when I was little, like 13, like maybe I was probably like about 11, 10, 11. You know what I'm saying? God spit on me in the projects, an older guy. Then they held my hand while this other guy beat me up. Older dudes held my hand. Then they had older dudes that kept me, I don't know, like, I couldn't run. If I would have run, but he didn't help me, but he had a little one my age, telling him to break my jaw. He punched me in my jaw. I got my bike stolen. I got a radio stolen from me. And then the guy, he beat me up and then told me, because I told him who stole the bike, who stole the radio, because it was my friend's radio. And then he beat me up. My friend didn't even fight for his own radio. You know what I'm saying? He took his radio, and then he said, yo, next time I'm gonna stab you. So I went through a lot of traumatic things. I almost got raped when I was 12 years old. I had to escape. I escaped, and the police got called because I yelled out the window, yo, you trying to rape me? You trying to rape me? And then, boom, he got a case and everything. They called the police when I'm from me yelling out the window and all type of stuff. So, and then at the age of 18, I finally snapped and I killed somebody. But under the thought that I was being exposed to AIDS, and it really hit home hard. So, but you got adults that can't even handle it. You know what I'm saying? They got a wife. They wife divorced them and they go crazy, they snap. I know one correction officer, his wife left him. No, his wife is cheating on him with another correction officer. He shot her, but she survived, she lived, and then he killed himself. You know what I'm saying? You can't even handle that thing. Now, you want a 14-year-old child to handle things that's complicated, difficult, and too complex to understand, and especially fight for his rights. So what America did to me was wrong. Yeah, they caused me to snap. Yeah, that was that abracadabra thing. They did that to me. And the lady said that, but they didn't want her to talk in that type of language. Like, Patrick Collins told Darcel Clark, the Bronx District Attorney, when she brought up emotional disturbance, said she was going to cite a case to show that it wasn't. The judge said, I don't think you want to speak in that type of language. That shows right there that the judge is being biased. The judge's job is to apply the law to the facts and the facts to the law. But that shows his intention. He was being intentional at basically overcharging me. And he's not supposed to do that. He's not supposed to overcharge me and step outside the bounds of the law and overcharge me outside the law. And that's what happened in my case with the depraved indifference. That's a 40, that's a defective charge. And it was reversed in all jurisdictions. But this is what you call justice? Hey, yo, Andrew Cuomo, this happened on your watch. And this what this new song that I'm doing is about, the American Dream. And I mentioned Cuomo name in it. I said that this went down on your watch, just like I said. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man, I was doing good. And all these resources and how they help people. I was a child struggling, not selling no crack, not doing none of that. They outsourced me. They did me dirty with the injustice. And that's what I want to say. Peace.